You're listening to the Music Business Breakthrough Podcast with me, your host, Grammy-nominated artist and certified trauma-informed success coach, Cheryl B. Engelhardt. I founded In the Key of Success to help musicians like you fast-track the process of setting and achieving big goals. Whether you need to release some past baggage or break through the BS of the music industry, you're in the right place to level up how you release your music into the world. So let's go get your music business breakthrough and amplify your release. I'm your host, Cheryl B. Engelhardt. We're going to talk about a sensitive subject today for a lot of musicians, self-sabotage, aka how to expand your life and stop getting in your own way. Your music business breakthrough today is going to be a personal one. So let's talk about thermometers. Thermometers are the thing that we adjust to get into a comfortable temperature environment. I'm going to use this as an analogy throughout this whole conversation. Here's why. When we were little, certain things got normalized. Maybe we had a parent that was inconsistent, or maybe we had to always be quiet, or something along those lines. And that became normal for us, which means we have this range of what became our comfort zone. Now, whether or not that's actually comfortable for us now, it's the comfort zone because it was what was familiar. And to human beings, familiarity is often more safe than something that could potentially be more comfortable. So when we talk about our comfort zone, it's not necessarily because it's comfortable, it's because it's familiar and therefore what got normalized. So we have this range of what is comfortable. And anytime we go outside of this range, our body says, no, we've got to change the thermometer back. So if let's just say we like 69 degrees to 72 degrees. When the weather or the temperature inside goes to 75, we say, okay, we've got to turn it down. Or if it goes down to 69, 68, 67, we say, oh, we got to change it. We got to get back into that comfort zone. We do this inside of our music careers. We do this in our lives. If we've normalized that it's hard to make money in music, then the second we have an opportunity to make money in music, it feels outside of this comfort zone. And so we will subconsciously sabotage ourselves so that we don't make money in music. I'm just using this as an example. If we've normalized the starving artist narrative, then outside of our comfort zone is what? The thriving artist, the income generating artist, the famous artist, maybe, right? Either way, those are going to feel very uncomfortable to our nervous system because it is not familiar. And so we're going to do everything in our little body's power, of course, this is all subconscious, to get back into the comfort zone of starving artist. So that is why we have these parts of us that are protectors. They are there for a purpose and their intention is good, is to keep us safe, to keep us comfortable. Because here's the thing, what's happened by staying in this comfort zone? We've stayed alive. That's all our brain wants, is to stay alive. It doesn't matter if we're suffering. It's worked. I once did a leadership training and there was a woman there that said that she had gotten cancer and she had a really, really, really terrible diet. She literally only ate sugar, she said. And she understood that that was the cause of her cancer. She didn't have any other cancer in her family. There were no other issues except for her own personal diet, health, lack of exercise, all of these things. And she said when she had finished her chemo treatments and she was in remission, yay, she said, all I wanted to do was eat chocolate and ice cream again. And she started down the road of a bad diet. And she's like, I don't understand why I let myself do that. I know in my head that that was the cause of this extreme suffering. But the brain doesn't recognize suffering in that way. What worked in the past that has her still be alive is she ate chocolate and ice cream. It's very counterintuitive. This is very deep, sort of almost meta kind of conversation. But we want to be able to distinguish that so that we can take actions that are aligned with what we want. And we have to be intentional, right? So as soon as she recognized it, she's like, I know this is not good for me. And even though my body wants this, I know better, and now I can take action and be intentional. So we've got to get intentional about what our threshold has been and what we want it to be. Are you with me so far? This is a deep conversation. So let's talk about how we do that. This is the source of how we expand our lives. We have to get to the edge of our current comfort zone, to the edge of what has been normalized. And we have to step out of it momentarily and then come back in. And every time we step out of it and come back in, step back out of it, breathe, regulate our nervous systems, come back in, we start to expand the range of that comfort zone and the range of what we have normalized. And we start normalizing the bigger versions of ourselves. We start normalizing the extraordinary, which is why that's the tagline of my retreat, Ampla Mansion. We hosted it in a beautiful mansion, not because I want you to get away from life and have this experience that you never get to bring back into your life. It's because my intention of my retreat is for you to normalize the feeling of luxury, normalize the feeling of peace and extraordinary breakthroughs and all of the great things that you get at my retreat. The point is to normalize it and to get those edges to expand so you can take that back into your everyday life. Pretty cool, right? By the way, if you're interested in my retreat, if the doors are open, you can go to www.inthekey.co/retreat to find out more. Let's talk about different ways you can get to that edge. An example is, let's say that you are really uncomfortable on stage. You know you want to be performing, but you get stage fright, you clam up, you forget lyrics, all of this stuff happens in your body, possibly because of what we talked about in a past episode of something happened when you were a kid, when you were seen and it didn't go well. So now you've got this sort of built-in somatic response to being seen, even though that's what you want. You want to be seen and heard with your music. So how can we widen that comfort zone of being seen? Maybe you're fine in a group of small friends, maybe up to 10 friends. Maybe you're fine when you're in a crowd, but let's get it so that you can be the front and center of attention for a larger crowd performing your music. So how would we do this? One thing that I would do with coaching clients is to start online, to just go online, press live on Instagram or Facebook Live, and play one song. You don't have to say anything. You can just play the song and then turn it off. The next week, I would say you go on live and then you talk for a minute and you create a relationship and you acknowledge that there are other people rather than just pretending like there's no one there. The third week, I would have you announce that you're going live before you go live, a couple days ahead of time, to increase the chances of people coming. And then you know that people are coming and you're going to do one song. This is all still just one song. We're keeping these motions really small so that you step out of the comfort zone and then you're right back and you know that you're coming right back. So your nervous system is like, okay, it's no big deal. I'm just going to do one song and I come back. And then we'll breathe through it. Breathing through the nose helps regulate your nervous system. It tells you that you're safe. Think about it. If you were getting chased by a tiger, would you be breathing through your nose? Probably not. You'd be breathing through your mouth. So when you breathe through your nose, you're actually sending a signal to your brain, hey, my body is safe. So brain, can you get on board? So then everything starts to align in your body. So breathing through the nose, by the way, if you're feeling a little anxious or a little panicky or a little dysregulated, breathing through the nose is a great way to ground yourself very quickly. So that being said, when you take these small actions, like starting with one song, going to another one, going online, and then maybe play an open mic, just one song, then maybe sign up for 2 songs, it's baby steps. And this is how you expand. This is how you start to rewire your brain to connect with your body in a way that's saying, hey, you're safe. You don't have to worry about this. This is healing. You don't have to sabotage. You can take actions inside of this potential fear and not be afraid of the fear. You with me? This is a really deep and big conversation, and it's not just about your music career, but it absolutely shows up in your music career. So if you know that there's something blocking you, that you are sabotaging yourself, that you are in some sort of stuck, normalized comfort zone that you want to get out of, and you're not sure what those actions are to take to get to the edge and come back really safely in a nice, safe, comfortable space where someone else potentially is holding you, I would love to do that work with you. If you're interested in finding out more about working with me one-on-one, go to www.inthekey.co/coach. This is all related to the work that I do when I was certified as a trauma-informed coach, which means that we are able to talk about the things that put us in that small comfort zone in the first place and heal it and start to expand our lives based on knowing what happened in the past and not letting it continue to dictate our futures. This work is very possible for everyone, for anyone that's dealing with any sort of trauma, capital T trauma or lowercase t. Capital T trauma tends to be the events, something happened, like a car accident or a divorce or an assault. Lowercase t trauma is chronic, more like there was a regular sense of behavior, there was a regular, perhaps inconsistency with how you were loved. Maybe you were always on edge or had to be hypervigilant to watch out for other people's moods. That causes a trauma response as well, lowercase t trauma. So what we do now as adults is we walk around with our little kid trauma responses ready to fight, flight, flee, or freeze, whatever our own response is. And we see it as we get older and as we work at our music careers. In fact, we tend to choose careers where we're more likely to have an opportunity to heal that. That is the craziest thing. Our careers and our relationships are the biggest mirrors for the stuff that we really need to heal. So I encourage you, if this is lighting you up, if this is sort of lighting a little fire for you or landing in any way, to reach out and see if there's something that we can work on together to really explode and expand your life and get you ready for the next phase of your music career. I'll see you in the next episode.